Shalom folks, this is Rabbi Cukierkorn, and I want to talk to you about this week's Torah portion, which is Vaera, the second one in the book of Exodus. And in there we find something very interesting. It's the story of the 10 plagues and how Pharaoh is insensitive. Every time a new plague happens that harms his people, eventually leading to the ultimate plague that harms his own home. And yet, the Torah says that the Pharaoh doesn't care, he keeps going on, and it says, and God hardened Pharaoh's heart. And that is a little strange because it may sound not fair. I mean, how can Pharaoh be responsible for his heart being hard when it says that God is hardening Pharaoh's heart? Well, here comes the explanation. And to that, I will take you back to tradition that we follow on the first day of Rosh Hashanah normally, called Tashlich. When you go to the river or a creek and you throw some bread there, and normally do that with the kids, but it's something fun to do, and it's symbolic of ridding oneself of klipot. Klipot are a Kabbalistic concept of veils of sin that involve us. The idea being that every time you commit a sin, you kind of cover yourself, you envelop yourself in sin. And then, at first, it's very thin, and you can still see, you're capable of doing normal things. But the more sins you make, the more they envelop you, or kind of like the skins of an onion. If you have only one skin, you're okay. You have 2, 3. By the time you have 7, 10 skins, you really can't see anymore, and thus you become like just acting on impulse because you're not capable of seeing any longer, seeing right from wrong. So what the Kabbalah teaches us is that every sin becomes like a veil, and thus we try to rid ourselves of those veils symbolically by doing tashlich. And evidently the idea being that we are reminded at that time of the year, a time of teshuvah, of repentance, that we need to mend our ways and rid ourselves of those veils and begin thinking normally again. And this concept of klipot applies to Pharaoh, because at first Pharaoh acted badly on his own volition. But then those klipot had so surrounded him that he was incapable of acting like a normal person anymore and understanding the pain and suffering his people were having as a result of the plagues, and he kept just going on. So, and from there comes the idea of God hardening Pharaoh's heart, is that Pharaoh had the first initiative, he began acting badly by himself, then later God just helped him to continue acting the way he was acting. And evidently the big lesson for us here is that we don't need to wait till Rosh Hashanah to do Tashlich and rethink our actions, but being a Jew ultimately requires us to constantly be thinking, am I acting the best way I can? Am I acting like a mensch, like a decent human being? Well, this is my message for this week. Today is Wednesday. I would like to remind you that Saturday we're having a fantastic family learning day. We're attending an Orthodox service. We're meeting at 8 o'clock for a briefing and some breakfast. And then we'll go to attend the Orthodox service, which I think is going to be very interesting. If you haven't signed up yet, just call me or email me. I'll be looking forward to many people coming. Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi Jacques from Temple, Israel. Bye-bye.